paving the way for crypto mass adoption. Ilya Bere, Changelly.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ilya Bere. I'm CEO at Changelly. First of all, I'm really glad to be here on behalf of Changelly team and on behalf of the whole crypto community. I will talk a bit about our project later on, because now I would like to jump right into the crypto mass adoption. First of all, can I ask you to raise your hands, those who think that crypto mass adoption is already here? Somebody? Okay, just the two hands. It's very valuable, actually, feedback, because once I ask these questions on some blockchain conferences, there is like 90% of the hands up. Let me shed light on the questions, what is the current state of the cryptocurrency in terms of mass adoption, what projects, cryptocurrencies, and sectors mostly contribute to the industry mass adoption, and what issues and obstacles we have on the path to the mass adoption. To be honest, the topic is very extensive and very controversial. I would love to discuss it later on over the beer, but I will try to make my best to discuss all this in allotted 10 minutes. So first of all, is mass adoption already here? Indeed, if we look at this graph, we see that the number of active Bitcoin addresses has risen hundreds or even 1,000 times during 8 years. And many of my colleagues who work on this market for a long time, they all admit that if somebody would ask them, 3, maybe 4 years ago, if they knew that the level of the mass adoption would be like it is right now, they would say that that is exactly the mass adoption that everybody in the blockchain industry were dreaming about. But if we turn to a bit another graph, we would see that in terms of users and user database growth, cryptocurrency is approximately at the level of the web or internet in the 1995. Of course, there was a bit hype, like it is nowadays in the blockchain, and there was a lot of articles on that, and a lot of people were talking about that. But we couldn't name it mass adoption at this time. To better understand the process of mass adoption, let's switch to so-called technology adoption, or as it's also known as a bell curve. I would say that nowadays we are somewhere between the second and the third phase of the adoption of the blockchain and cryptocurrency technologies. 7 years ago, and for quite a long time, cryptocurrency was almost the field for the innovators. These are the guys who are ready to work with the raw technology, and they're geeks and they're keen on that. After that came the stage for the early adopters. These are the guys who would like to think of terms like some revolutionary cases, some disruptive business models. But if we would like to talk about the mass adoption, that is the guys who are early majority. And these guys would like to work only with some proven cases, with some proven business applications, and with the with the risks that are not so high as it is nowadays. So on top of lack of proven application and proven cases nowadays, there are also a number of difficulties that are also named very often as enemies of the mass adoption of cryptocurrencies. These are the regulation and volatility of the market. So I assume that like our aim, the aim of the early adopters is to bring and to overcome all these chasm, all these difficulties, to bring this technology to the early majority, to, for example, to the gaming or gambling platforms. Let's start from the regulation. Let's see how it's going in this field. So on some countries, the mass adoption is going like beyond the regulation, and the guys here talked a lot about that. That in some countries like Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Turkey, and some others, more than half of the adult population hold or traded cryptocurrencies. So actually, that's really, really huge numbers. But if we are talking about like some gradual growth, if we're talking about some steady and long-term mass adoption, it's always about the regulation. And countries like Malta, like South Korea with the Jeju Island, like Japan, they're doing their best to make these regulations, and they're working on some cryptocurrencies guidelines in terms of legal field. In terms of volatility, there is also a number of solutions, and stable coins are named among them. So after the teaser with the USDT, there is a number of competitive projects, and the majority of these projects are aimed to help with to beat the volatility of the market. And nowadays there are more than 200 stable coins projects right now, and we see that more and more customers are utilizing this technology in order to overcome the volatility. But let's drill down a bit into the niches for disruption, where the blockchain and cryptocurrency technology could find their place. So in 2017, it was trading, that was the cross-border payments. We see that more and more companies in charity using blockchain and cryptocurrencies to provide them transparency on their transactions. But concerning the audience nowadays, just a bit, would like to talk a bit about the gambling and gaming. There is done a majority of work on this direction. We have such great partners like Bantoy, Vox, and Engine. These companies are working on implementing blockchain and cryptocurrencies on their work. That's the acceptance of the cryptocurrencies to pay for the games. That's the decentralized platforms for iGaming. That's also like having the gaming assets on some blockchain technologies. So this is very interesting, and that might be the point of growth and the point of mass adoption in terms of cryptocurrencies. Just a few words about our projects, because at the end of the day, all these like cryptocurrencies, all these like utility tokens and security tokens and gaming assets, they all need a place where that could be exchanged to another asset. And the swapping platforms like Changelly and like others are ready to support that, and being the middleman to provide the best customers, the best seamless and the best useful customer experience for the mass adoption. So yeah, we are like the middleman who provides an transaction between the liquidity markets, exchanges, and between the businesses and like individual customers. So we are here for 3 years. We are incorporated in Malta, and we are doing our best to be the swap platform #1 in the world. We are looking for the emerging stable coins, for emerging security tokens, as well as emerging platforms for gaming. And we would be glad to have a partnership with all of you. Well, time is up. Thank you very much. We'll be glad to see you on some beer. Thanks. Bye.